Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to High on History. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Liz. And today we are going to change direction. So, sorry about this, but last time that it was last week, I said that we'd be returning to South and East Africa approximately 15,000 to 12,000 years ago. And then I went to do the research, and I was immediately stymied. I ran into two different problems, and both were like insurmountable barriers for the amount of time that I had to work on it, and I'll explain. So East Africa was the first barrier. That's where I went looking first, because it was such a wealth of information in the time of Australopithecus. I assumed the same would be true later. That is not the case. And what is the case is that Mother Nature, pure erosion, the sands and winds of time literally erased a great deal of the record. So,
at that same time, we were experiencing the entire Ice Age. We were experiencing the last glacial maximus. We were going through the African human period. There was a lot going on climactically.
And then a lot happened after that climactically, too.
Yeah.
And so quite literally, the winds and sands of time
literally just washed it away.
Washed a lot of the evidence away. And the archaeological record in East Africa, in much of East Africa for that specific period of time, is quite thin.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking and I'm like, not finding a lot. It keeps trying to push me forward in time or further back in time. It's just not showing me anything in the time that I'm looking for. That was very, very frustrating. But, I'm a resourceful person. I thought, let's look in South Africa. And there I ran into a completely different story. There, basically, here's what I found out. There's a ton more archaeological evidence from the South African regions for that specific period of time.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of it.
Yeah.
Locked behind academic paywalls.
Buried in a museum.
Buried in museums.
Locked away where no one can see it.
And the story goes that the art and the tools advanced in that time.
Mm-hmm.
But advanced how?
We don't know.
I couldn't find it.
We couldn't afford to find it.
We couldn't afford to find it. That's not something that we have access to. So when we talk, as we will speak of so many times, when we talk about the erasure of African history from the record, some of that is ongoing right now today. It's not just Great Zimbabwe in the 1890s, that utter tragedy, that looting, that pure destruction, that obviously racist destruction. Not only did such tragedies happen as that, but then also this ongoing problem where museums and universities and governments have control of the information, and you have to buy your way in.
Yeah.
And so, in doing so, that effectively erases, and it did this week, erase my ability to talk about the specific advancements. Oh my. I thought all those alarms were off.
Oops.
Those are work alarms. It's also this, where I can't talk to you guys today about the specific advancements in the tools and the art in South Africa, except to tell you that it existed, and that we extrapolate from the advancements in art in Central and South Africa, that also similar such advancements were taking place in East Africa, but there the issue is erosion, and erosion just got the evidence.
Okay.
Right? But yeah, so that erasure is ongoing. It remains every time you take information like this and you make it inaccessible to, yes, even nonsense researchers like us.
And we do have to also keep in mind the time period that we're looking at right now is 20,000 years ago, max right now.
Right.
So, like, a lot of that evidence is just gone in general, just because it's just so long ago. The oldest wooden tool evidence we have. I have hair in my mouth. I can't get it out. And so it's only like 400,000 years old, and that's Neanderthal, which we'll get to that eventually.
Right. So
it's very rare
and
to find artifacts this old, is what I'm getting at.
Right, and I mean, I guess rare is a matter of it is and it isn't. But also, I will say this: we are at a place in the late Stone Age, 15 to 12,000 years ago. We are in a place late enough in the Stone Age that one of the things we need to acknowledge is that small advancements were being made, of course. Things were getting more sophisticated, more complex, more beautiful. Things were no longer being made for purely pragmatic reasons, but also with aesthetics in mind. People, I think I made a mention of this a couple of weeks ago, but I think it would be fair to say when we're talking about these hunter-gatherer peoples, these were also hunter-gatherer traders. They were interacting with each other.
Absolutely, they were.
And they were trading tools and blanks and shells and jewelry and techniques for making cool stuff.
Yeah.
So we are gonna actually jump ahead a little bit, not by much, but after banging my head on not being able to come up with actually good stuff to talk to you about, Jordan came in and totally bailed me out. She said, well, you fell in love with the Mali pottery. You want to take the Mali pottery? And I was like, indeed I do. So we are back over in West Africa, in Mali. And I get to tell, actually, my favorite part of the ancient tales, which is her story. Because all the pottery in Mali in this time, 11,000 years ago, and actually quite a bit up to this day. So this is a living Stone Age tradition, actually.
There's some beautiful documentaries out on YouTube, actually, that show the process. They've been using the same process, the same mines for the clay for thousands of years.
Thousands and thousands of years. So in this, we get to see some very unique things. First, living Stone Age traditions, which continue to this day. Mm-hmm. And we'll even talk a little bit about why they continue to this day, because that is important to the story.
Right.
And then also, only women make the pottery. And this has always been. It is a woman's art. It is a craft. And we'll be focusing on 3 different tribes. We're going to talk about how their geography shaped their spiritual beliefs. Ooh. And how those spiritual beliefs are specifically incorporated into how and why women make the pottery in those specific tribes.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, this is the first time we're going to get to bring up a specific deity in the
we get to talk about the first gods?
I had I had a little bit more time, which I would have had if I didn't have to switch tracks so late in the game.
Right.
Because I banged my head on this South and East Africa thing for days before I realized, before Jordan was like, kind of last minute, hey, we could do this other thing instead, and then I had to get this all together fairly quickly. So I forgot to look up how long this is the Bozo people.
Okay.
They are a fishing tribe, and I forgot to look up how long they've had a specific belief in this river god.
Now, I don't actually want to throw you off because you said you didn't want to, you had a specific order you wanted to talk about these different people.
Yeah, we were going to start with the Bozo.
We were going to start with the Bozo.
Yeah.
I didn't want to throw you off, so I wanted to stop you before we got into the Bozos.
Oh, yeah, no. We're actually going to start there.
Cool, okay.
So, this is the terrible script.
It had some good singers.
Oh no, it was awful.
Made me sound horribly stupid.
Oh my goodness. Never ask AI to write your script.
Oh yes, don't ask AI for a script.
It offered and I was like, sure, go ahead. It was so bad.
It's a good therapist. Well, my therapist is getting married, so...
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Has its uses. Okay. That's technique and style. I wanted to actually start with,
Oh yeah, these are definitely script pages.
I wanted to start with their geography.
Okay.
So the Bozo live along the Niger River, and fishing is the primary source of their sustenance. So their water vessels, that's a lot of the pottery they're making, and they're making vessels for storing fish. Fishing is their thing. They need lots of water vessels. And this has an impact on the artistic design. It was noted that they tended to use fewer artistic elements, but, as in, not that they didn't use them on many pots, just that it tended to be like one thing on it, as opposed to a complete design that goes all around it.
Oh.
So there would be like a fish on it, or waves on it.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't necessarily, sometimes it was, but like, it was more sparse it was more...
Simplistic?
I don't want to say simplistic, like I was trying to avoid that word. It was more, what's that Japanese word for, like, the absence of... anyway.
Nope, don't know that one.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get to Japan. Japan is wonderful too, but...
Excuse me.
But right now we're here. So they lived in these nomadic fishing villages along the Niger River. They're a fishing culture.
Yeah.
And they believe in Pharaoh. Pharo. The water spirit. And many of their pots are used for offerings to ensure good fishing seasons and river safety. So not only are the pots different in shape, and I'll discuss the shape here in just a second here, but not only do they differ in shape tribe to tribe, but the way they are used in spirituality also is different from tribe to tribe. Again, the thing that connects them is that they are that there is this connection between women and these vessels of life. So women are seen as the creators of, the life bringers, the same as water is the life bringer. And we will get into how that gets interpreted in other places too. But also with the Pharaoh, these were set, with the Bozo, these were set as offerings. Which is
so we see
a little bit different than the way that that pottery is used spiritually in the other tribes.
So 11,000 years ago we see some of the first evidence, at least in Africa, some of the first evidence of spiritual purposes.
I don't know if this is the first evidence either because of the way we had to advance in time.
Oh yeah. Good point.
This could be as old as about 11,000 years ago. Certainly the pottery goes back to around that time, 11,000 years ago. And that makes sense because it's in that 12 to 10,000 year range where we we really do start creating more significantly more sophisticated tools, and really society and trade and like cultural lifestyle is really taking hold and starting to build. Like the roots of it would be in this moment.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Water pots are seen as sacred objects, linking the women who create the pots to Pharaoh, who provides the fish and the water they store in them. Ritual vessels are sometimes placed on riverbanks as offerings, demonstrating the belief that the river is a living divine force. So it wanted to make note here with the bozo that the connection between women, water, and fertility is especially strong with this tribe. Pottery making is exclusively a female craft, as we've mentioned, and water pots represent a connection between life, sustenance, and spirituality.
Oh, wow.
So it is that whole circle of life thing. And
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And in this way we can really see that, and I wanted to bring this up. So one thing that connected all of these tribes is that, like I said, women were making the pottery, but that the making of pottery was, in the minds of these people, a mystic craft.
Yeah.
They're not just making pottery to hold food and water. Yes, it also serves that function.
Yeah.
There's a correlation, a spiritual correlation between women doing this thing specifically.
Ooh.
Right? So it is, as much as it's a practical process that anyone can learn, it's also a magical craft, a mystical craft passed down from woman to daughter and so on and so forth, again, for thousands of years, going right up into this living moment today. Now, I don't know how much of the spiritual connection they continue to maintain. I don't.
Yeah.
But here, in this time, the making of a clay pot, and we'll get into with one of these tribes specifically, is also analogous to raising a child, taking an empty clay form and turning them into something useful in society. And I believe that is the Banama people, if I'm remembering correctly.
That's beautiful.
So there's this deep, like, I feel like, I say the words, and particularly when AI helps produce the words, oh gosh, but I say the words, and I don't know that people really get the sense that for a long time, probably for most of the time that this craft has existed, it has been as much a mystic art as it is a practical, functioning, useful thing to do for your community. And that continues to this day.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, all the way from the Stone Age.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. And that's the Bozo. So they were a fishing village. There we find our first specific mention of a deity that we have personally covered. This isn't the first deity in the universe. I'm not making that claim. This is the first time we have gotten to a place where a deity was mentioned specifically for a tribe.
And that's what my excitement was too, that this is our first mention.
This is
our first discovery of a deity. When we get to China, when we get to other places, I know the culture's a lot richer. Who knows? I don't even want to say a lot richer. Sorry about that one. But yeah.
I know that there are some very old gods out there that the angle of the gods is not really one we've been touching on.
One we're not really trying to cover either.
No, I'm totally going to cover it. You don't tell a history of a people without telling a history of their spirituality and their religion. Like
Facts.
So, yeah, no, we're absolutely going to cover it. It's going to be fun. So much fun! Yeah. How can you tell the Middle Ages without explaining religion?
Oh, good point.
Why are all these crazy people doing all this crazy stuff?
I've got a couple cool saints and popes that I want to cover. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, there's some stuff out there. Next, let's see here. Oh, there's the others. Bit of terrible script.
Oh, they're really funny.
I mean, yeah, except that it makes it. Okay, so we've done this in both directions. So whichever one of us says that we're gonna be the narrator and we try to have it produce a dialogue, it makes the other person not leading the episode sound like an absolute doofus.
I want to find a good one that really is. So
terrible.
basically, these pottery traditions go back thousands of years, and people are still making them the same way?
Yeah, we covered that, but we didn't cover it in a way that made you sound like an airhead.
Yeah, right?
Okay, so next we are gonna get to the ooh, bad on me, I didn't look up the pronunciation, so I do not know if it's Dogon, or Dagon, or Dogon.
I've always heard
But
it
it's
pronounced Dogon.
Dogon. Okay, that makes sense. Dogon. Dogon. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I've heard that before, too. So, where the Bozo pottery had simple shapes and waves and fish and things associated with the river, but tended towards simple decoration. The Dogon, on the other hand, had really decorative pots. They went a different direction.
Yeah.
They have pieces that are anthropomorphic or zoomorphic. They represent spirits, ancestors, totemic animals. And they had engraved and raised relief decorations, frequently depicting mythological themes. Famous for their highly decorative pottery, often featuring human or animal figurines.
Ooh.
So now, I don't think it takes a genius to see just from the way the Dogon are making their pottery.
Yeah.
This, again, deep spiritual connection between pottery making and their spirit world. Women here being the connection between the spirit world and the making of a functional material craft in the world.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's just evident. And like, what I love about that is because it is evident in what they're doing with their pottery. Like, you don't even have to, just the fact that they're making these anthropomorphic, you can see how to them this pot. And so knowing that the women are making this, right? It is the women in society who are bringing these totems, these depictions into the world, creating, that bridge between their spiritual world and their functional material world. Yeah. So
that's really cool.
Now, it is good to note. That says so Dogon pottery is as much shaped by their environment as Bozo pottery was. So Bozo pottery is shaped by the river.
Yeah.
Right? And it is evident in the pottery. It's shaped by the river.
Yeah.
Dogon pottery is shaped by the cliff sides they lived on.
Ooh.
They lived in a fairly isolated, I believe there's fairly isolated cliffside communities.
Ooh.
They inhabit, yes, they are still there, the Bandiagara escarpment, a rugged cliffside environment that provides natural protection but limits arable land. Arable land being farming land. So
okay, so they're not an agricultural, they're not pastoral people.
They are not particularly pastoral, no. So more hunting gathering there.
Okay.
The cliffs have numerous caves and shrines where sacred pottery is stored for ancestor veneration. So again, there's women being that link between the ancestors, the spirit world,
bringing life,
and then these pots, figurine potteries, are being set in
like a shrine.
It's shrines.
Literally for shrines.
It is.
That's amazing.
Because of the limited farmland, the Dogon rely on trade with other groups, influencing their pottery's ritualistic focus over purely functional use. Their pottery was often sculptural, integrating human and animal figures, likely inspired by their rich mythology. Living in an isolated rocky terrain deepened their connection to ancestors, as their survival depended on honoring their wisdom. Because food was often scarce, their pottery was more spiritual than practical, often created for funerary and shrine use rather than daily cooking. Figures on pots depict mythological beings, reinforcing their belief that the world was shaped by supernatural forces. Well, that's kind of a given. That doesn't tell us much of anything. So, with them, they have this more inward focus. There's like this deep spirituality, and again, women making the pots, women being the connecting force between the realm of spirit and so in this way, in the making of this pottery, in the making of these figurines and these offerings to the gods, they're also spiritual leaders of a sort in the community, right? This is a part of the story we don't really tell when we tell history. When we tell the history of artifacts, right? We tend to focus a lot on the artifacts, and not necessarily on the people who made the artifacts.
Right.
And in this case, the people who made the artifacts, the fact that these are all women, and this is what the women for 11,000 years have been creating. I think speaks to the ancient leadership of women in communities and how historically that's actually been it's been unbalanced for a long time, and at various times in history. Like every now and again, somebody comes along and balances it back out, right? And then over time it goes again, right?
Yeah.
So that happens rather a lot. But in this context, we can see that women are spiritual leaders, and are integrated in their communities as such. And then that actually is going to bring us to the Bamana. Now, I would like to point out that in parentheses here, it also says Bambara. And I do not know if one of those is more correct than the other. I did not have time to look that up. I meant to.
I came across that with my pygmy people from last time. Each pygmy nation had a different name. Like, they had one name and then they had another name, and I wasn't sure which one was more correct. So I just announced both of them.
Yeah. Well, this is the Bamana or Bambara pottery. Now, we left a link, and we will again, on Aqualithic Africa, this wonderful video from the creator Above the Clouds here on YouTube. Watch the full documentary. It is worth the nearly 3 hours. It's one of the chewiest documentaries we have ever seen. We have watched it 3 times. We will watch it again.
It was the inspiration behind the original Africa video that I started.
It was the video that started us on.
It was the video that started Africa.
And in that video, he spoke about Mali pottery a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
And he showed this absolutely gorgeous red, wide, round pottery with this beautiful red black glaze, and it is just.
I remember that one.
It is so beautiful,
so stunning,
and he made specific mention. So the way that this pottery is fired, for example, is it's basically put in a bed of offal and hay that is set on fire.
Yeah.
But that fire has to be kept at a very specific temperature
to fire the clay right.
And the women go around basically looks like a giant burning haystack, and they throw water on it where it needs to have water on it, or they make it more fiery where it needs to be more fiery, and they keep this fire, which is basically a pit with all the pottery put inside of it, and then all this hay put on top of it, and it's a thing.
Process.
It's a process. It's a beautiful process. They've been doing it again for 11,000 years.
And they're still doing it like this today.
And this pottery comes out and is I found it stunning.
It was pretty.
But yes, even now. It is a sacred practice. It is not just making pottery. It is part of a ritual that goes back, all the way through time. Yeah. And as we will cover later, Molly's had some history. It is sort of amazing that some of these techniques, the techniques passed down from mother to daughter have lasted all this time.
Right.
So the Bamana or Bambara made these nice round big pottery. And these were the people where, again, pottery is associated with fertility.
Okay.
They're pastoral people. So you can see we've got three very different tribes.
So we had a non-pastoral hunter-gatherer, we have
a
fisher, and now we're at pastoral,
and now we have
cultural people, which I'll talk about in my next episode.
Exactly so. And so their pottery is being used to store food. It's got a super pragmatic purpose. But these were the people also who thought of the making as pottery as not unlike raising a child. For them, it's also about giving life, making space for life. Wow.
And weren't they the people that was mainly cooking with their pottery? Like their pottery was meant for like being fired over and over and over again as like kettles and stuff like that?
Yes. They are linked to Niyama, a spiritual energy present in nature and people. Oh. So we recognize that when we hear that a spiritual. So this is chi, ki, or
we've got now two deities.
Well, no, because Niyama's not a deity. Niyama is the force.
Oh.
Yeah, this is like chi, the living animus. Yeah, the living animus of the world.
Oh, okay.
Their pottery is associated with initiation rites too. So
a coming of age ritual.
This is girls learning to make pottery is something that is passed down. It is part of their initiation rites. Their coming of age. Young women learn the craft from their elders as part of their passage into adulthood. So like learning to make the pottery and then making beautiful pottery is literally how you become
a woman. Well, I mean, we were watching a documentary, and I picked up that they would send the young children to go mine the clay, in some places, in some villages.
Yes.
And that's all just part of being initiated. When you're young, you go get the clay. You're the apprentice at this point.
Well, when so they were sending little boys out there to get the clay too.
I noticed they were sending little boys too.
As far as the getting of the clay itself, you don't. All the way back in the Stone Age, Mom probably needed 10 minutes away from the kids.
Right.
Go make them play in the mud.
Go play in the mud.
And like this can be useful, right?
Right. So, yeah.
So you do
sense.
have to be careful. You do have to be careful, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I did want to talk about the decoration. I talked about the actual shape of them. So they used smooth, burnished, and the decorations were simple, featuring incised geometric patterns.
Yeah.
Right. So they've got the, you know.
They've got all the really pretty designs.
Well, no, the Dogon too have these really pretty designs, but you know, in terms of the type of design that the Bambara are using, it's the geometric, almost like the Navajo.
Oh.
Okay.
That kind of like
Right.
line art.
Yes. That, you know, lines,
Okay,
triangles.
not so swirly, but more like zigzaggy. Okay.
Yep. Exactly. I had more on them, I thought. But yeah, so they were pastoralists, and so you can see like the different environments shape the different spiritual interactions.
Yeah.
Between the people and their land and their belief and their traditions and how they live, right? That's all shaped by their environment. And women here are the connection between that spiritual level,
Yeah.
you know, and their physical environment. And in the making of pottery, where they are the ones storing the food, the materials, they are creating the vessels in which life is created and sustained.
That makes sense.
And when we look back in the historical records, we're going to see over and over and over again ceramics and how they're being made and who's making them. Tells us a great deal about a people.
Right.
And all the way from 11,000 years ago till today, the story of the women of West Africa, it kind of in general, but Malian specific.
Yeah.
And this is a good moment to bring up that where Mali, the country, is today is not historical Mali.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the map is different. If you go and you look at Mali today, and you go and look at the area that they would have been calling Mali 11,000 years ago, or even in 1100 AD, this is not the same. So we invite you guys all to do a little exploring and take a look at how maps shift over time. This is going to come up again and again, and when we eventually do get the ability to look at pictures on here, which we will do. We'll start.
You keep promising it.
I know, but it's going to happen. I swear, I'll get there. But you know, we'll probably show you guys again and again. So sometimes when we're talking about an area, don't think about where it is on the map right now, because that's not where it actually applies.
Right.
But yeah, no, we can see that women have always played from the Stone Age to today a significant role of leadership in their communities. They're literally the life bringers and the life sustainers, and that is honored, I think, in a way there that you know, we largely overlook. But fortunately for us, we've got great archaeology and the living tradition
still today.
That shows us just how beautiful and long-lasting and amazing, really, like, this is Africa the eternal.
Yeah.
It is. It's always been here, and I think that's absolutely beautiful.
Right.
So, happy Valentine's Day. We both have hot dates, which was very distracting during the research week. Things have been happening in the world that are very distracting.
Yes.
So we apologize for that.
And since it is Valentine's Day.
Oh, I forgot to move.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, you call me, I hate you. I love it. I have to go look in the closet because I think that's where I stashed your present. I thank you. Oh, thank you, Bessie.
I has not opened that yet, but that should be your meat snack.
Wait, meats?
Meat snack.
Meats?
Yeah, I did not cut it with tape or cut the tape or anything, so I don't know how to get into that.
That's it. Oh, how about you figure that out while I go look in the closet to see if that's where I stashed yours. Okay.
Oh, hey, look, it was easier to open than I thought it would be. It just decided to do the sticker all weird. There we go. Bam!
Well, I'm sure that sounded great on camera.
Oh, yeah, right?
Oh, why do I hide?
I keep it all under my bed.
Well, I do that sometimes too. That's
I mean,
not what I really
we hide things because we're constantly in each other's rooms doing research and stuff.
Yes, that is true. No, I hate Christmas stuff. Oh man, you know what's really sad?
What?
Wherever I hid your thing is also where I hid Sean's thing.
Oh! So not only did you hide my gift, you also hid
Wait, maybe I really did hide it under the bed.
That'd be funny.
No, I looked for other stuff under the bed this week. Stuff that was not there. What did I do with my phone? This is gonna be so weird on camera. I really wanted to find this stuff for you. I will suffice for now though, and give you
This! Ooh!
Get that
chocolate. Thank you.
Yes. I forgot to get you an orange chocolate for Christmas, so I figured I would make it up.
Aw, and get one for Valentine's. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, I didn't stash your presents under the bed. What have I done? What have I done? There's Shars.
Is it that box?
It.
Yes, it
Yes!
Oh, good guess.
I really didn't think it was, or I'd have looked there much sooner. Oh, you got me Hickory Farms. Oh.
Yes, I did.
Oh, I love you, bestie.
Because I know you can't have chocolates and candies. And I get all your chocolates and candies. It works. Oh, what is this? What is this? They are little gnomies. Oh my
With
goodness.
sunflowers, because I know how much you like sunflowers and little bees.
bumblebees. Oh, they're adorable. I love them. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh. And that means this is a wrap.
Yes, exactly what
Happy Day and happy Black History Month. We'll see you next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. The last I looked, we were at like 32, 33 of subscribers.
Oh, I forgot to look this week.
I forgot to look this
also,
week, too.
for all those people we ought to have shouted out, but we haven't shouted out yet, I'm going to write down your names this week. Sorry about that. And thank you guys so much for your comments. We really appreciate them. Truly we do. It's nice to have feedback. So love you guys. Thank you so much. And live long and prosper.
Bye.
Oh, I dropped
Drop the mouse too. It's a day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, guys.